Installing a new entry door is a great way to change the look of your home and help reduce energy loss. It's a job practically any do-it-yourselfer can accomplish in less than a day. To get started, here are some of the tools and supplies you'll need to replace your old door with a new one. A hammer, drill with a number 2 Phillips head drill bit, utility knife, trim removal tool, a 6-foot level, 6 2.5-inch screws, caulk gun and caulk, a square, and wood shims. If your new door has an adjustable door sill, you will also need a number 2 Phillips screwdriver. To finish the door, you may need paint, stain, sandpaper, molding, and a doorknob and deadbolt. Also, because of the size and weight of the door, make sure someone is available to assist you during the installation. Now it's time to remove the old door. Start by removing the interior trim around the door. Take extra care if you're planning on reusing the same trim around your new door. Next, remove the screws or nails attaching the door frame to the studs, including the screws in the strike side, hinge side, and top of the door. Also, some of the screws in the hinges may have been replaced with longer ones. If so, these will have to be removed before you can remove the door. Once you have removed these screws, carefully close the door and tip the door and frame towards the outside of the house. In order to tip the door, you may have to break the caulk seal between the frame and the house. Out with the old, in with the new. But first, clean the floor area around the door opening and, if necessary, scrape off any excess caulk, mortar, or plaster. Cut the shipping bands from the new door and remove the packaging. Also, remove the plastic package from the top of the door and place it close by for later use. Now, place 2 generous beads of caulk on the sill plate. Apply caulk to the back side of the brick mold on your pre-hung unit as well. Caulking these areas will help seal the frame to the rough opening and eliminate air and water leaks around the unit. Now, remove the shipping nails from the strike side of the door frame. Set the door into the rough opening. Center the frame. And tip the unit back into place. Carefully open the door and check to make sure that the hinge side is plumb and square. Insert 1 screw through the brick mold on the upper hinge side of the unit to prevent it from shifting. Then close the door and place shims between the door unit and the stud at the top hinge of the door. Remove the center screw from the top hinge and replace it with a 2.5-inch screw from the bag you placed aside earlier. Recheck the unit for plumb and square to ensure that nothing moved. Now, place shims between the door unit and the stud at the other 2 hinge locations. Then, place shims in the 3 locations opposite the hinges on the strike side of the door. Grab the 6-foot level and place it along the hinge side jamb to make sure that the jamb is straight and plumb. If it's not, adjust the position of the frame until the bubble on the level is centered. The hinge side jamb is now ready to be secured. Remove the center screws from the middle and bottom hinges and replace them with the longer 2.5-inch screws. Remove the other screw from the top hinge and replace it with a 2.5-inch screw. This will prevent the door from sagging in the unit. Now move over to the strike side and use the level to make sure the jamb is plumb. Close the door from the inside and check to see that there is an even gap between the strike side jamb and the door. Go outside to make sure there are no gaps between the weather stripping and the door. If you encounter any major gaps, adjust the frame accordingly. Next, secure the strike side jamb to the stud. Fold back the weather stripping at the top shim location and insert 1 2.5-inch screw. Repeat this step at the middle and bottom shim locations. If your pre-hung unit has an adjustable sill, it will need to be adjusted. Use a number 2 Phillips screwdriver to adjust the set screws at the top of the sill crown to allow your door to operate properly. Make sure you have equal clearance between the sill and the bottom of the door across the width of the unit. Too little clearance will reduce the life of the sweep. Too much clearance will allow a draft to enter. Okay, now it's time to seal any gaps between the frame and the house to ensure maximum efficiency of your pre-hung unit. Caulk in between the brick mold and exterior wall on the hinge side, top, and strike side of the door. Caulk in between the brick mold and the frame of your door on the hinge side, top, and strike side. Next, caulk the gap where the frame and the sill meet. on both the hinge side and lock side. Also, caulk underneath the nose of the sill where it makes contact with the sill plate. Now go inside and close your door. Score the shims with a utility knife and break off any part of them that is protruding. You've successfully installed your new door. Now is the time to do whatever you want to make it look great. Attach trim around the door. Screw in a doorknob strike plate to the frame. And attach a lock set. If your door has a window, put on the surrounding screw hole covers. If your door has a deadbolt, attach the deadbolt hardware to the door. If it does not include a deadbolt, attach the deadbolt cover to the frame. Steel doors are sold pre-primed and can be painted. Finish wood doors and trim with a paint, stain, or polyurethane finish. You can finish the door before or after installation, but before finishing, lightly sand the door with a fine grit sandpaper and remove all dust and debris. Finish according to the manufacturer's instructions and avoid getting paint or stain on the weather stripping, corner seals, and door sweep. Nice job and congratulations on your new door.